Good morning, class 9th. Today we are going to study about various cell organelle. In previous lecture we have studied about structure of cell, how it is made, what are the basic structures of the cell, and in that we have studied about cytoplasm. And I told you that time as well that your cytoplasm is like seed for various reaction. In a similar way, your that cytoplasm is somewhat having various compartments which are specialized to perform the function assigned to them. In this video, in this lecture, we are going to study those compartments, those rooms one by one. But before that, let us study about cell organelle once again. Here you can see cell organelle. An organelle, you can think it's like internal organ. Suppose if I'll take our example, we have heart to pump the blood to various parts of the body and to collect it back for purification. Your lungs purify that blood in respect to carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange. Your brain is coordinating with each and every organ. Your you can say your blood vessels are working in different directions, one away from heart and one towards the heart. So how this all happening in the body? Because each and every structure of the body is specialized to do some work. If you ask veins to carry oxygenated blood towards the organs, that then it will not work out, because your veins are working in collecting the blood and taking it back to the heart. So in a similar manner, these cell organelles are working whatever is assigned to them. So you can say that if we talk about our school, it has so many rooms. Let us talk in a broad way. We have so many classes and we have labs. Computer lab is equipped with proper computer systems. Your bio lab is with specimens. Your chemistry lab is with chemicals, and the classrooms is having proper teaching going on there. That means each and every room of your school is specialized for something. In a similar way, your cell is having cytoplasm, and that cytoplasm have various compartments or small rooms. You can say little room, or you can say organ like structures. So what they do the work in similar manner, that whatever is assigned to them, whatever they are specialized to do, they will perform that function. Okay, so here we have some of the cell organelles, but let me tell you one thing, they are membrane bound, whether the membrane is single layer or double layer. We have studied the structure of plasma membrane, and your membrane of these cell organelles having the same structure. Now you have some of the examples. I'm going to explain each and every organelle. Okay, so we have nucleus, and its function is DNA storage, or you can say genetic information storage. Then what is the factory part? It keeps blueprint of every function, because it have DNA have gene code for particular function. So it is a kind of it is a kind of blueprint for every function. Mitochondria, it is called powerhouse of the cell. That means it helps in energy production, so that is why it is called power plant. Your endoplasmic reticulum is like network. We are going to study these organelles in step by manner, and will elaborate each and every organelle in front of you. Yes, very first cell organelle is endoplasmic reticulum. The term is endoplasmic reticulum. Endo, inside or inward. Plasmic is used here for plasma membrane. Reticulum means network. So you can say a network within the plasma membrane. Yes, it is somewhat a large network of membrane bound tubes, and sheets, means it is a somewhat flattened structure and it is spread like tube, okay, and that tubes are interconnected. It looks like long tubules and it may be in the round shape or it may be oblong bag like structure which is called vesicles. The endoplasmic reticulum is somewhat similar to the structure of plasma membrane. That means they are structurally same, though the function is different, but they are structurally similar. The endoplasmic reticulum greatly varies in their size, shape, as per the requirement of the cell. The network system is developed. That is why its size, its shape, its appearance is different to different cell. Yes, it is of two type. One is rough endoplasmic reticulum and second one is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. We call it rough or smooth on the basis of its surface. Okay. Now you can see the diagram of endoplasmic reticulum. I also have some electron micrograph on screen. You can say the darkly or black color structure is called nucleolus and it is main site of ribosome production. Okay, then we have nucleus and that nucleus is having chromatin fiber, that woven thread like structure. We have nuclear pore which will act like door between the cytoplasm and nucleoplasm. We have nuclear envelope which consists of two layers, inner nuclear membrane and outer nuclear membrane. The outer nuclear membrane is somewhat extended into endoplasmic reticulum. That means you can say in simple words that an endoplasmic reticulum is extension of nuclear membrane and your endoplasmic reticulum is attached to nuclear membrane on one side and on the other side it is attached to plasma membrane. So it makes a pathway or it makes a channel between the nuclear membrane and the plasma membrane. Okay, now you can see the diagram. That yellow colored uh, surface is having dots on it, that black color dots. Actually that black color dots are ribosomes. Now you can easily observe that if you see at the yellow one, it is somewhat rough because of the presence of these dot like structure called ribosomes. But when you see the endoplasmic reticulum with red color, it is totally smooth because there is no dot like structure or you can say ribosome on the surface. So rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum are classified on the basis of presence of ribosome. If ribosome is present on the surface of endoplasmic reticulum, then it is called rough because its appearance become rough, or you can say if we touch it, we can't touch it, it's quite small, very small. So if in case we touch it, it will be rough to touch. In a similar way, if we observe it, it's smooth, there is no up and down, or you can say there is no dotted structure present, so it is smooth in appearance. That is why rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum are classified. Yes, now rough endoplasmic reticulum, as I told you, rough just because of ribosome presence. If ribosome is present, your ribosomes are specialized cell organelles which is specialized to produce protein. Thus, your ribosomes are called protein factory. So, in turn, if they are attached to endoplasmic reticulum, that endoplasmic reticulum will also produce protein, or you can say the protein will be produced by ribosomes only, but your endoplasmic reticulum will pack it, store it, transfer it to various parts or regions of the cytoplasm or that cell wherever the protein is required. That means as per requirement, your rough endoplasmic reticulum will transfer protein to various portions. Okay, so next is the diagram. You can see a purple colored nucleus. These floral like pores are present and this pink color endoplasmic reticulum is present. Though it have dotted structure on it, it is rough. So it will be called rough endoplasmic reticulum. These dotted structures are called ribosomes. Okay. Yes. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum, as they are devoid of ribosomes, their surface is smooth in appearance, or you can say in touch. So we call it smooth one. What is the function now? If ribosomes are attached, then it is meant to produce protein. As there is no ribosome, they are meant to produce lipid. So function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum is to produce lipid. Okay. These lipid also form some of steroid and other hormones and protein, help in biogenesis as well. As you know, your plasma membrane have two main component, one is protein, one is lipid. Protein is formed by rough endoplasmic reticulum and lipid is formed by smooth endoplasmic reticulum. That means endoplasmic reticulum together form both the main component of plasma membrane, and they help in biogenesis. Biogenesis means formation of plasma membrane. So at the time of cell division, they will help. If there is any damage to the plasma membrane, they will repair, and other endomembrane system they can make. Okay. Now let us study about functions of endoplasmic reticulum. Your endoplasmic reticulum is associated with the synthesis, storage and transport of metabolic products. As I told you, they are network, they are endomembrane network, and they form a pathway like structure through which material can be passed on easily. Second, it will second is the same function that I am explaining you, that endoplasmic reticulum is serving as a channel for transport of material. Okay. And that exchanges between various regions of the cytoplasm, and it may be between cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. Endoplasmic reticulum is also working as a framework because it is spreading within the cell or the cytoplasm. So it is a kind of framework that as our bones are spreaded inside our body and somewhat giving the framework na, in a similar way your cytoskeleton or this endoplasmic reticulum is giving the framework. Okay. So it is cytoplasmic framework. Now very important feature, if we talk about liver cells of that animal group, because animals have liver, we have large number of endoplasmic reticulum in those cells. Why? As you know, your liver is famous for detoxification. These endoplasmic reticulum, especially the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, is producing some kind of metabolites which helps in the removal of that toxin, whether it is through some kind of poisonous material or through the drugs or the medicines we take. So your endoplasmic reticulum is helping in removing that toxic material. So it also helps in detoxification. Your rough endoplasmic reticulum is somewhat associated with the protein synthesis, and your smooth one is associated with the lipid synthesis. It also helps in the cell plate or your cell membrane formation during the cell division, or if there is any damage to the plasma membrane, if it is repairable. Now Golgi bodies. Golgi body is discovered by Camillo Golgi. He have he have done a great work, because while he was finding the stain to be used for the nerve cells, he found Golgi bodies that time, and he found one of the best method of staining, that is called black reaction, and in that reaction he have used a weak solution of silver nitrate, that is AgNO3, and somewhat valuable. This in turn help the scientists to study the ramification. Now you must be wondering, what is ramification? It means consequences. That means if you are somewhat treating a cell with a particular kind of thing, then you are supposed to see the consequences, observe the consequences, that what will happen next to the cell. In a similar way, that black reaction help these scientists, or especially the Camillo Golgi, to study the ramification of cell on which they were working. So this was a great work. Now Golgi body can be known by other name like Golgi apparatus, Golgi complex, but in plant cells they are called dictyosomes. The Golgi apparatus consist of system of membrane bound vesicles. Actually, your Golgi body is made from endoplasmic reticulum, so they have somewhat similar function: storage, transport of material, right? And they are also a membrane bound structures. They are flattened, and these membranes are arranged parallel to each other, one upon the other. They form a stack like structure. Okay, these structures are called cisterns. These membrane often have connection with the membrane of endoplasmic reticulum. Thus you can say, as your endoplasmic reticulum is cytoplasmic framework, in a similar way it is also making a framework, or you can say it is making a endomembrane, that is cellular membrane system, in continuation to endoplasmic reticulum. You can see the structure of Golgi body. Here you can see parallel layers of the Golgi body. These layers are called cisternae, and they are parallel to each other. The phase which is quite small is called cis phase, and the phase which is somewhat broader, that is called trans phase. You can see the invagination here. Here you can see newly forming vesicle, and the vesicle which are detached from the Golgi body is called secretory vesicle. They make the material, they pack it, they store it, and they transport it to the as per the requirement of the cell. Wherever the material is required, they carry it and transport it to that position. Okay, now it's formation of Golgi body. How Golgi body is formed: you can see nucleus, and around that nucleus you can easily see the endoplasmic reticulum, and that is the rough one. When that endoplasmic reticulum is somewhat detached and become transitory, it will start making layers which are arranged parallelly one upon the other in a stack like manner. That forms Golgi body. It will Endoplasmic reticulum will send the material to the Golgi body. Golgi body will store it, process it, and further pack it and transport it to the outside of the cell, or if it is required within the cell, it will transport there as well. Means as per requirement, it can transport the material within the cell and outside the cell. So in this way your Golgi body is formed, and this is called endomembrane system, cellular membrane system. Okay, the material synthesized near the endoplasmic reticulum is packed and dispatched by the Golgi body to various targets. Okay, its function includes storage, modification, and packaging. As I told you, it store the material, it process it, that is modification, and further it pack it and transport it to the required location. In some cases, complex sugar may be formed in simple sugar. Suppose you have simple sugar like glucose, and if you are making cellulose, that is complex sugar. So in some cases, your Golgi body also make complex sugars from the simple one. Okay, and now very important thing: as your endoplasmic reticulum makes Golgi body, in a similar way your Golgi body makes lysosome. So now, before studying lysosome, let us study the functions of Golgi body: storage, modification, packaging, and condensation of proteins. Okay, it helps in cell plate formation. Okay, now it helps in formation of lysosome, and it can also make complex sugar. Lysosome, you can see it is single membrane bound structure. It is lipid bilayer. Okay, and its membrane. Inside the lysosome there are some hydrolytic enzymes. These enzymes help in digestion. Whatever the cell is having, it will be digested with the help of that lysosome or the enzymes present in this lysosome. Okay, So, structurally, lysosomes are membrane bound sac like structures which have digestive enzyme within them. They are quite small and they are spherical in structure. Okay, these enzymes are made by pure and rough endoplasmic reticulum. As rough endoplasmic reticulum is having ribosomes, so it helps in protein formation, and these proteins are somewhat specialized for the digestive enzymes. Lysosomes can do this because they contain powerful digestive enzyme, and you will be amazed by knowing when there is any infection in our body, those outer materials are engulfed by our fighter cells, WBCs, and these lysosomes will help them to digest those outer bodies, those infective structures in our body. So during the disturbance in this, but in some condition, you can see here the new point, and it is very important for examination point of view as well. In some condition, there is some kind of disturbance. Number one, maybe your cell is starving, there is lack of food. Number two, there may be disturbance in the functioning of the cell or coordination of the cell. Number three, your cell is damaged very much. Number four, your cell have engulfed some outer body which is not at all digestible, or it is somewhat creating disturbance in turn. So these are some of the condition during which your lysosomes secretes lots and lots of secrete me. It is making lots and lots of enzyme within it, and ultimately burst. When it burst, the enzyme which is pegged within it spread throughout the cell, results into digestion of the whole cell. Now you can see, if that lysosome is belonging to that particular cell and that cell is dying just because of this lysosome, what we will call it, these are called suicidal bag of the cell. Okay, that means these are bag like structure having strong enzymes within it, and these enzymes, due to some problem or disturbance, ultimately your damage the cell or destroy the cell. So that is why they are called suicidal bags or suicidal bodies. Here you can see, during the disturbance in cellular metabolism, for example, when the cell get damaged, lysosomes may burst and the enzyme digest their own cell. Therefore, the lysosomes are known as suicide bags of a cell. Here the function is of lysosome. They are like disposal system, means they destroy the waste. Then they keep cell clean by digesting foreign material, or you can say worn out cell organelles. Whatever organelles part which are damaged are digested by these lysosomes, so helps in cleaning of the cell, and it provide us defense against the foreign bodies, foreign infections. Very important point. Yes, you can see the structure. These ball like structures are called lysosomes. The main function is to break the unwanted macromolecules. Like if you are having larger molecule of a particular component of the food, it break it into the simple one, so that you can easily absorb those simple bodies and get the nutrients. Ribosomes, here you can see ribosome. Actually they are quite small, they are rounded in shape, but actual shape is like this, on which you can see on your screen. It is made up of two units, two subunits. One is the larger one is the smaller one. Okay, so these two units attach in such a way that they become one, and it appears like round body. Okay, it composed of two things, one is your RNA and one is your protein. Now if we talk about its function, its only function is to produce protein. So protein synthesis they will do, thus they are known as protein factory of the cell. Now mitochondria. Mitochondria are famous as powerhouse of the cell, and they may be different in shape as per the requirement of the cell or the function of the cell. They may be small, rod like they may be oval. Okay, so it depends on the cell and its function. It have two membrane, the outer and the inner mitochondrial membrane, and there is some space between these two membrane. That space is called perimitochondrial space. Okay, yes, but both the membrane are not that smooth. If you observe the very first or the outer mitochondrial membrane, it is smooth, it is regular, but if you observe the internal mitochondrial membrane, it have lots and lots of deep fold within it. Okay, these folds will increase the surface area for the production of energy, and this energy is produced in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate. It is also called as energy currency of the cell. As you go to the market, you have currency in rupee. You give 50 rupee and take the material in exchange of that. In a similar way, ATP is energy currency of the cell. If a cell want to do any of the activity, that cell is supposed to give some ATP or use some ATP. In exchange, that ATP help to process that particular thing what the cell wants to do that time. Okay, the energy required for various chemical activities which is needed for proper metabolism of life, so that all released by mitochondria. That is why your mitochondria is called powerhouse of the cell. Okay, mitochondria are strange organelle in the sense that they have their own DNA. Very important point to be noted here. There are various cell organelles, but there is only two cell organelles having their own genetic material. One is mitochondria, one is chloroplast. They also have their own ribosomes. Ribosomes are of two type if we talk about eukaryotic cell. One is 70S type, one is 80S type. 80S is one of the modified one. Okay, so the ribosomes which are present within the cytoplasm or in the nucleus or in the or attached to the rough endoplasmic reticulum, they are 80S type, the modified one. But the ribosomes present in prokaryotic cell, that is bacteria, and mitochondria and chloroplast, they all are 70S type. So apart from the ribosomes of cell present in cytoplasm attached to the endoplasmic reticulum and at other places, your ribosomes are also present in mitochondria and they are belong to that mitochondria only. Your mitochondria also have its own DNA, and that DNA is somewhat circular DNA, the one we have studied in the bacterial cell. Okay, they are quite similar, and I'll tell you at the last why there is so much similarity. Yes, function of mitochondria is to produce ATP, that is energy currency, and the process by which it produces is called respiration. You can see the diagram of mitochondria. You can see outer and inner membrane. Okay, intermembrane space, I told you it is called perimitochondrial membrane. Oh, sorry, perimitochondrial space. Yes, here is the matrix. We call cytoplasm in case of cell, nucleoplasm in case of nucleus. Here the similar kind of material is called matrix. Okay, it is a gel like material and helps reaction to take place. Okay, you can see some small yellow color particles or blue color particles attached to the surface of inner mitochondrial membrane. So they are F0 and F1 particles. They help in the process of respiration and production of ATP. And here also you can see the folds which are present in inner membrane of the mitochondria. They are called cristae. We called it cristae. In case of Golgi body it was cisternae. Here it is cristae. Now plastids. Plastids are present only in plant cell. They are limited to plant cells. They are double membrane bound organelles, and they are somehow they are spherical or discoidal. Spherical means sphere like, discoidal means disc shaped. They have a average size of 4 to 6 micrometer. There are three type of plastid. On the basis of coloration they impart to the particular plant part, they are divided into three. One is chromoplast, that is colored plastid. One is chloroplast, as they have chlorophyll within them, they are green colored plastid. And if we talk about leucoplasts, they are white or colorless plastid, like in root, in the pulp of the apple, because it is colorless, right? And stem. Okay, so it have leucoplast. If we talk about leaves, it have chloroplast. If we talk about flower, fruits, then if they are colored, it means chromoplast is present there. Chloroplast, chromoplast containing pigment. It is one of the type of chloroplast. Actually, your sorry chromoplast. Your chloroplast is green colored plastid, but if we talk about chromoplast, they are colored plastids. Color means any color. So one can say your chromoplast are having chlorophyll, which impart green color and thus make it chloroplast. So chloroplast is very important, as you are studying it from very junior classes, that the chlorophyll is the pigment which impart green color. It helps in photosynthesis. So one of the very important plastids, because they help in photosynthesis, and thus they are making food for us, whether directly or indirectly. Yes, chloroplast also have various colors like yellow and orange. They are the color of pigments, okay, apart from chlorophyll. But the amount of chlorophyll is quite high, that is why they mask the coloration of other pigments like orange and yellow. Leucoplasts are primarily the cell organelles which are made to store starch, oil, protein granules in them. The internal organization of chloroplast consists of numerous membrane, and these membrane is embedded in a material called the stroma, that gel-like structure. You can say the base on which that membranes are somewhat stacked or embedded, that is called stroma. And these are like mitochondria. If we talk about their structure, they resemble mitochondria a lot, as your mitochondria have DNA and its own ribosome, that is 70th type of ribosomes. Your chloroplast have the same. Your chloroplast also have its own DNA, its own ribosome, 70th type ribosome. Here you can see the diagram. You can see stroma first. It's the material in which these stack like structures are embedded. Okay, when we talk about the coin like structure with green color, they are called thylakoid. And these thylakoid are like coin, and they are one over the other, make it stack like structure. That stack like structure, that means if we keep 5 or 6 coins one upon the other, it form a stack like structure, and the whole stack like structure of thylakoid is called grana. Okay, in a similar way, if we talk about the mitochondria, your mitochondria have two membrane, one internal mitochondrial and one external mitochondrial membrane. Your chloroplast have same, one is internal membrane and one other one is external membrane. It also have some space between both the membranes called intermembrane space. Okay, it have ribosomes, and it also have its own DNA, as told earlier. The DNA is circular DNA. Okay, and I told you, I'll tell you at the last why there is so much resemblance. So functions of plastid is by trapping solar energy. These green plastids make food, and the process is called photosynthesis. Chromoplasts impart color to the various vegetable, fruit, flowers, right? And leucoplasts are helping they are colorless plastid, and they help the plant to store protein, starch, lipid, and other products. Now it's vacuoles. Vacuoles are storage sacs of solid. Actually, they are bag like structure. They are like empty bag. If you want to keep food in your bag, it will become food vacuole. If you want to keep water, then water vacuole. If you want to keep waste, it become volatile vacuole. The term is volatile vacuole. So according to the purpose, vacuole can be used. Okay, so vacuole are storage sac or bag like structure, you can say, for solid liquid contents. Its membrane, they are single membrane bound, and its membrane is called tonoplast. Very important question, tonoplast. Okay, vacuoles are small sized in animal cells. In animal cell, the vacuoles are not present, and if they are present, they are of very small size. But in plant cells, vacuoles are present and they are quite large, means up to 40 to 70% of the area, and in some cases it may be 50 to 90% of the area is covered by vacuole only. So in plant cell, the vacuole is almost centrally located. That means if there is a plate and in that plate you have rice, if I want to keep my bowl just between the rice at the center of the plate, then what I'll do, I'll spread those rice at the periphery or at the boundary of the plate, and I'll keep that bowl in between or at the center. In a similar way, when we talk about plant cell, if there is vacuole, there will be vacuole because plant cell have vacuoles in them. So that vacuole is centrally located. What happened? All the other content of the cell is moved towards the periphery or at the boundary of the cell, towards the boundary. Okay, so many substances which are very important for the plant cell are stored in vacuole. It also provide rigidity to the cell and make it turgid. Okay, it also maintain its shape. In single celled organism like amoeba, it helps in engulfing the food and make it into food vacuole. Once the food is processed and absorbed in the body, the waste is thrown with the help of another vacuole called volatile vacuole. Okay, it includes that material which can be stored in the vacuole includes your amino acid, sugar, and various organic acids along with some of the proteins. In some unicellular organism, there are some specialized vacuole which can also expel water and some waste of the cell. Okay, so as told earlier, on the basis of the product which the vacuole is storing, that vacuole can be named like water vacuole, food vacuole, volatile vacuole. Now the another cell organelle, it is not mentioned directly in the book but in some of the diagram and its uses are mentioned, so I'm explaining you. Centrioles or centrosome. The centrosome is a distinct region of cytoplasm which is near the nucleus, and they are only present in animal cell, so they are present near the nucleus of animal cell. Okay, it usually have two central granules called centriole. That means there is one structure called centriole. You can see these two yellow color structured. One structure is called centriole, and when they are two in number and present together, so they are called centrosome. That means if only one is present, it will be called centriole, but when both of them are present together, they are called centrosome. So here also they are writing the same thing. The centrosome is a distinct region of the cytoplasm close to the nucleus of the animal cell. It usually have two central granules called centriole. The centriole are hollow, cylindrical. As you can see in the diagram, they are hollow. There is too much space between within the centriole, right? Plus, there are some tube-like structures which are extending through its length, and they are arranged in a particular pattern. These tube-like structures are called microtubule. They make the cytoskeleton of the cell. Okay, so this it is written here, the centrioles are hollow cylindrical structure made of microtubule arranged in a specific pattern. They are arranged at right angle. Yes, I told you centrosome is made when two centrioles are present together. So when they both are present together, they are arranged in 90-degree manner. They are perpendicular to each other. That means they form a T-shaped structure one centriole present and another one is at 90 degree. So we can observe it as T, the alphabet T, capital alphabet T of the English letters, English language, sorry. Yes, functions. The main function of centriole or centrosome is at the cell division. Remember, when cell divides, it forms some spindle fibers. These fibers are like thread-like structures which helps chromosomes to align to them so that the division will go smoothly. So these spindle fibers are arised from the centrioles only. As you know, centrosome have two centriole. What will happen when your cell starts dividing? So it is present around the nucleus, and one of the centriole will move to the opposite pole. So they make two poles, okay, around the nucleus only, and from those centrioles spindle fiber will arise and make a pattern on which your chromosomes will align and further division take place. So this is very important function. Okay, yes, now here you can see it also help in formation of cilia and flagella. If you remember, when I was explaining the structure in previous lecture, I told you that your plasma membrane helps in locomotion of single cellular organism, whether by modification or into cilia or into flagella. I told you the example for flagella is euglena, and for cilia it is paramecium, and in some cases your general plasma membrane will help them that organism, that unicellular organism to move, like amoeba. Here you can see the green colored diagram. Here you can see centriole is moved to the opposite pole, so it is around the nucleus, it is forming two poles. Now these green color threads are spindle fiber. On these spindle fiber your chromosomes are aligned, and when they are properly aligned, they are pulled at opposite poles by the centriole, and in such a manner your cell division will take place. Yes, now let us come at the conclusion. We came to know by after studying this chapter, we came to know that each cell acquires its structure and ability to function because of its organization. How it will be organized? It is organized by its membrane and cell organelles, which are somewhat specialized to work in a specific way, like mitochondria for the production of energy, chloroplast for the trapping of sunlight and making food by photosynthesis, ribosomes for the protein synthesis, right? Endoplasmic reticulum is like channel, packaging of material, dispatching of material. Golgi pod is also packing, processing, and transporting the material. Lysosomes are digesting the waste, cleaning the cell. So every cell organelles have their own specific function. They are organized to perform function in specific way, okay. And you can say cell is basic structural organization. This helps the cell to perform function like respiration, obtaining nutrition, clearing of waste material, or forming new proteins. So one can say cell is the fundamental structural unit of living organism or life, okay. Yes, at last I told you about the structure of mitochondria and chloroplast. I have named it as knowledge packet for you. Here you can see there is one cell. As it have properly well developed nucleus, we call it eukaryotic cell. Now we have studied about symbiosis. What is symbiosis? Symbiotic relationship. That means a mutual relationship between two living organisms in which both are benefited. None of them is harmed. For example, the relationship between the leguminous plant and the bacteria lives in its root nodule, right? Or the symbiosis between lichens, algae, and fungus live together in a mutual relationship. Here also, you can see that symbiosis. Number one, you can see very first cell is somewhat engulfing or invaginating the aerobic bacterium. Aerobic bacterium means the bacteria which respire in presence of oxygen or air. So it is getting that aerobic bacterium. Now after symbiosis, that aerobic bacterium is used to live in that cell. It is modified into mitochondria. And you know, by aerobic respiration your mitochondria produce energy. So that aerobic bacterium is getting place to live, to food to have, right? In turn it produces energy. So it is a mutual relationship between the eukaryote cell and mitochondria. Now the structure is present throughout all the eukaryotes. Now second, that green color one, the second invagination takes place or engulfing takes place in plant cell. Okay, during that invagination, what happened? Actually, another symbiotic relationship, from where the food will come. So there was one and more, mm, you can say a treaty between the eukaryotic cell and the photosynthetic bacterium. Okay, so now photosynthetic bacterium is having chlorophyll within them. That is why they are called photosynthetic, or they are green in color. You can see the diagram. They engulf it and ask them to make food for them. In turn they will give place to live and other nutrients and other things to survive. So another symbiotic relationship can be seen here. Okay, and now what happened in plant cells? Chloroplast is present. In animal cell there is no need of chloroplast because they can have their food heterotrophically, so named modern photosynthetic eukaryote, modern heterotrophic eukaryote. Heterotrophic eukaryote, they are talking about animals. Photosynthetic eukaryote, they are talking about plants. So the conclusion for this explanation is, your bacteria, whether it is aerobic bacteria or it is photosynthetic bacteria, both are engulfed by the eukaryotic cell and done some mutual relationship. Okay, now they are part of eukaryotic cell only and they are called another cell organelles, but they are bacteria. And we have studied in the prokaryotic cell that they have their own DNA and 70s ribosomes. That is why your chloroplast and mitochondria also have their own circular DNA, that is your chromosome. And I haven't told you that your mitochondria and chloroplast have nuclear membrane around that. So that is nucleoid reason. Your prokaryote, that means bacteria, is modified into chloroplast and mitochondria. Thus, your mitochondria and chloroplast both have double membrane structure, both have circular DNA, both have 70s ribosomes. Okay, I hope you understand. If there is still any doubt, please you can ask me, and kindly go through all the lectures because it will help you in the examination. Thank you. All the best. Stay home. Stay safe. Bye.